What Ike Allen and Andy Anderson have created at AVAIYA is what the world needs.
Hello, AVAIYA family. I'm Andy Anderson. My partner Ike Allen and I are teachers, mentors, and the co-owners of AVAIYA University. AVAIYA is the creator of over 1,000 books, films, courses, teachings, and other supportive resources. Thank you so much for joining us. Our fellow teacher, Tamra Oviatt, is with us today to talk about meta-programming in the subconscious mind, clearing negative belief systems. Tamra is a master sacred activator, a uniquely gifted light worker, master healer, and divine channel. She has always been destined to bring permanent healing, personal growth, and positive transformation to people using the power of sacred activations. Sacred activations is a form of meta-programming modality that intelligently corrects, removes, overwrites, and upgrades your subconscious programs and will continue to work on you for days, weeks, months, even years, shifting your belief systems, raising your consciousness and vibration, and aligning your mind, body, and spirit to the universal flow. Welcome to AVAIYA, Tamra.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive into this. So I'd love it if you would enlighten all of us and let us know what is meta-programming just to get us started.
Absolutely. Meta-programming. See, I've been doing sacred activations for over 10 years. It was given to me by Lord Metatron, and I had many teachers coming in and teaching me, and I didn't really understand how to explain it. And then I saw a book called Meta-Programming the Human Biocomputer and read the definition on it, where it says this program continues to rewrite the programs and upgrade the program. So it's an intelligent program. And I went, oh my God, that's what I'm doing with sacred activations. Because once you receive a sacred activation, it continues changing belief systems in all areas of your life. And it keeps rewriting the programs and expanding them. It's really incredible. And it really shocks me how it continues to work and to change people's lives over days, weeks. People get, instant shifts, like these miracles happen, but then they continue shifting in different areas of their lives. And it just makes their life in all areas of their life so much better. It's like, wow, I get to do this. So cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for people watching right now who are like, wow, this is so new to me. I don't even know what Tamra's talking about here, right? Like what is a sacred activation even? Like what is that experience?
Some of the sacred activations activate. So they will activate your sacred geometry. They'll activate different codes within your energy field. And a lot of them started off with sacred geometry. The first activations repaired your sacred geometry in your body. And I didn't even know what sacred geometry was when I started doing this and witnessing this happen with people. But as some of them are deactivations, they will deactivate programs and emotions that are locked into your subconscious so that you quit running those programs and they just disappear. It just shifts. And then your life just starts changing. And sometimes it changes so fast, it takes a little while to catch up. Because you're like, wait a minute, I'm not used to this program. This is totally different than what I'm used to. But then you catch up and you're, it's like playing a video game. You're on the first level of the video game and you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. And then you have a big shift or you go to the next level. It takes a little while to get to know that game, right? So that's the same thing that happens with sacred activations. It's going to shift you on one level. It's going to bring you up to this new level. And when you've mastered that and you've got good at that, you go to the next level. And your life just keeps, your life, your health, your finances, your relationships just keep getting better and better. And your view of the world and your ability to do what you desire in the world.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
It all shifts. It's really, really amazing. It really is.
I love your example of the video game. I can very much relate to that, being a child of the 80s and playing lots of Super Mario Brothers and absolutely, right. You get to that next level and you don't even recognize it. It's different. The colors are different. The sounds are different, all of that stuff, the surroundings. So for someone watching right now, since we're talking about healing from the trauma of betrayal, right, today, for someone watching right now who has experienced a betrayal, whether it was far in their past or in their most recent experience, how can this all relate to them? Like, how can we how could these experiences help them get through this kind of experience?
Well, I mean, I can run a process that will help remove the trauma, and we'll go back and remove the original trauma, because you have to remove the original trauma, because otherwise it keeps building on itself. Mm-hmm. And we keep creating the same program over and over and over again with different faces, different names. You know, it could be a friend, it could be a lover, it could be a teacher. However, and we keep creating the same scenario over and over again. So, but once we clear that out, then it just stops happening. And sometimes what will happen is that program will come up again, but then we no longer have the same energy in it. And then it just stops showing up because it's no longer needed in our training. Everything happens for us as training. We are never a victim. We are never victimized. And that was one of the hardest things for me to learn, because it's so much easier to be a victim of that horrible person than to take responsibility for some way. We created this and we created this experience. Why? Why did we create it? What are we learning from it? You know, and then when you fix that, you no longer have to have the experience again. And you can forgive those people that victimized you. You know what I mean? Because they're truly just a soul that is loving you and teaching you, and also having their own experience as being the victimizer or the trauma person that's creating all this stuff in your life. It's a two-way game. It truly is. And when we realize that and realize that we're creating it, then let's take the time, let's shift it. Or easier yet, just listen to some sacred activations and it'll just happen for you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I want to, before we get into the process that you're going to walk people through, I'm curious, just because we were just talking about, right, that victim mentality. And I know that's probably one of the hardest things for so many people to let go of. And I too have those experiences also, when something terrible happens and it's like, oh my gosh, you want to really be so mad at some person or whatever. I guess, what are the benefits that you've found in letting go of being a victim of external circumstances, so to speak?
Well, then you stop creating them. You stop having the same experience over and over again. And then until you do clear it, you are going to continue to have that experience and you will continue to create it. A really good example to me is, I have this girlfriend that I've known for 35 years. She works in her job, and for 35 years, I don't know how many different bosses she's had, but they all do the same thing to her. It's always the same story over and over and over again, but it's different faces. And it's just, I just laugh, because it's like, I don't want to use her name, but it's like, you know, as so-and-so turns, because here we go again, you know, it's the same exact story. And so I'm sure when you think about this, you know, God, am I repeating this over and over again? And is this, oh God, here we go again. Why me? Why does this keep happening to me? Well, because you still haven't let it go. And until you do, it will continue to happen. And no matter how much you try to move forward without clearing it out, you will continue to create it. I mean, sure, you'll get some momentum and you'll go far, and you'll maybe go further than you ever have before, but you'll end up having that same experience again until it's gone. You know, I look at us like computers, like PCs. Like, I'm a PC, you're a PC. There's a motherboard. There is an internet, and we're all connected to the motherboard, right? And all these programs are there. They're all there. All the good, all the bad, whatever you want to call it. And then there's the collective consciousness programs that some of them we're plugged into that are really, really strong, and they're harder to get out of. Well, what I do is I totally remove that program out of your consciousness, and it removes you out of the collective consciousness. So you're no longer having that experience, and it's just gone. It's just one of the programs that is gone. And then of course you got a million others that, you know, some of them are good, some of them are bad. But as a PC, when you're running on old software, no matter how much new software you add to your old PC, it's not going to run right, because you've got to upgrade the old software in order for the new software to run. So I watch people going out there trying to do all these manifestations and affirmations and all this different stuff. It's not going to work unless you've cleaned your motherboard yet. And then now you can plug in all of those high vibrational information that you want to do and what you want to achieve. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And well, why don't we do that? Why don't we, I know you have a process that you wanted to take people through in their experience. And for anybody watching, you may have had betrayals of different kinds, right? Relationship betrayals, self-betrayal, even different experiences with a spouse or a boss or a parent or what have you. So I just encourage you to go through this process and relate it back to your life. So let's do it.
Well, this is the easiest and coolest part of all of this. One, you can't do this wrong. Two, there's nothing to do. All you have to do is sit and relax and allow whatever those thoughts are to come up. And if you sit there blank and no thoughts come up, that's okay. Now, you might feel something, you might not. You might have massive shifts within a day or two, or it'll be 3 weeks from now where you start noticing a difference. None of this is wrong. Just one warning, you might get extremely tired or emotional afterwards. So if you do, go take a nap, make sure you drink a lot of water. The emotional part usually doesn't happen for about 3 days. But if you start crying or your head hurts or your heart hurts, it's okay. It's just the energy shifting. How I do this is I connect to source energy. I connect to God. I like to call it God. You can call it source. You can call it universe, whatever you want to call it. And that's how this is done. I'm the facilitator. So, so I can't do this wrong. And this can't hurt you in any way. Okay. So I want you guys to understand that. So just go inside and think about any betrayal or trauma that you've experienced, and we are going to clear that out. And this is going to clear it through past lives and future lives. It'll clear it through your genetics, and it'll clear it through all areas of your life, and of course your present. Okay. And I'm going to be silent while I'm doing this. And I might say something else to bring you into another thought process. But so just sit quietly and allow whatever thoughts to happen.
Should we have our eyes open or closed?
You can close. I think it's better if you close your eyes, because that way you just allow yourself to go in and not worry about what I'm doing or if you're doing it wrong. I'll let you know when we're done. And when we're done, I'll connect you into Mother Earth so that you can just feel grounded. And if you feel like you're spinning afterwards, again, just imagine you connect to Mother Earth. And you can listen to this over and over and over again if you desire to. There's nothing wrong with this. The power is God power. So it's not going to be weaker if you listen to this in a week. Do you understand? Okay. All right.